and welcome to another Tips from Scott in Dog Training Depot. This week, we're going to cover canine body language, or how to speak dog. Now, as you'll note from this illustration, there are many postures and body positions that dogs use to communicate to one another. In fact, barking and vocalization is just a minuscule part of dog language. Dogs are very visual, and they use canine body language as their primary method of communication. Once you understand this, it will help you when you're training your dog. Now, I'm only going to be able to touch the tip of the iceberg in terms of canine body language and give you some things to think about today, but hopefully you'll get the idea and begin to think a little bit more about interpreting what your dog says and does a little bit differently. So let's get on with decoding the visual language of dogs, or what I call canine body language. I've studied canine body language for over 45 years, and I'm by no means an expert. So I can't put that forth in a short video like this. All I can do, as I said, is touch the tip of the iceberg with you. But have you ever felt like your dog can read your thoughts and feelings better than anyone else? Not only are our dogs very cute, but they also seem to be gifted with an intimate knowledge of our souls. They know us, but how well do we know them? Even though very few of us are fluent in dog language, most of us can tell the difference between a friendly dog and an unfriendly one. The friendly dog seems to get the message across with very little difficulty. The unfriendly one does the same. It's as easy to sense the aura of a confident, relaxed, and easygoing dog as it is to observe specific behaviors and body postures. Now, these dogs are fairly easy to watch. They exude warmth. They exude friendliness. Their head is held high with a big doggy laugh. They have a gambling gait and a curved tail wagging all over their rump. And similarly, one can literally feel the tension emanating from a dog that's not friendly. Head lowered, ears flattened, piercing stare, teeth bared, growling, the piloerection along the back, that's where they raise their hackles, stiff-legged, tail held high, straight, stiff, and usually vibrant. So let's talk about what goes on and what's your dog saying. One of the most common mistakes owners can make with their dogs is to misread what the dog is saying into something completely different. We humans do it all the time. We tend to humanize our dogs, and yet they're not babies in fur coats. They're a totally different species with a different language and a different mind process. Keep that in mind. The dog's body language says one thing, and we interpret it into something completely different, basing our assumption on what we ourselves are feeling. In reality, dogs see and read the world much different than we humans. If we humans better understood our dogs, we could prevent many dog bites and other behavioral issues. Now take a look at this illustration. This is just an example of some of the knowledge that you can gain by studying canine body language. Did you know that when your dog wags his tail, if he has a left biased tail wag, he's in a mood of negativity and avoidance. If he has a right biased tail wag, he's in a positive mood. He's approachable. Now, by bias, I mean if you look down the center line of the spine of the dog, a left biased tail wag means he swings his tail further to the left than to the right when he's wagging his tail. A right biased tail wag means he's swinging it further to the right than the left. So you want to look at everything from your dog's perspective. So I'll give you another example. Let's take the simple act of a hug. To humans, a hug means love and affection. When a human receives a welcome hug from a loved one, it makes us feel good inside. But what does this hug mean to a dog when you give the dog a hug? Well, humans are always hugging their dogs, and when we do, in our minds, we're giving that dog the love and affection, and we're sharing our love with them. However, what most humans do not realize is that from the perspective of a dog, a hug is not affection at all. To a dog, a hug symbolizes a social status ranking, representing dominance and an invasion of space. Lower members of the pack give space to the higher members as a show of respect. The position of the body is also meaningful to a dog. Now remember, vertical height is only a symbol of status to humans. So for example, the king's throne is higher up than the surrounding court chairs. That's a status symbol. It is a symbol of the authority of the king. Now to a dog, vertical height is not a symbol. It's a fact of life regarding status. So to a dog, the one on top represents a higher status ranking. Therefore, when you bend down and wrap your arms around a dog, you're not only on top, but you're in their space. Now, keeping this logic in mind, wouldn't it make total sense not to run up and hug a strange dog in the future? So let's talk about interpreting the right way and communicating with your dog the right way. Now, dogs use and read calming signals in order to avoid conflict. Now, although these are subtle, you can learn to read and give these signals yourself. Examples: head turning. Dogs turn when uncomfortable and to signal another dog to calm down. A head turn is like a person saying uncle. A turned head averts a direct gaze. Dogs give and understand a direct gaze as a threat or a challenge. Dogs turn their head to give polite, not in your face, greetings. Turn your head to the side when you want to send a calming signal to a dog. If a dog is jumping up on you, turn to the side and give no eye contact to help calm your dog. Curving the body and licking. Most mature dogs rarely approach each other straight on. Instead, they make a wide curve or an arc to send a calming signal. In addition to this curve or arc, they actually curve their body along their rib cage, and they may even lick their lips, their nose in the air. So try signaling an approaching dog who's fearful by curving your body, sniffing, licking your lips, head turning, body turning, or sitting on the ground. The tail always tells a story. Canines and felines both put their tails straight up when they're feeling confident. Dogs and cats both twitch or wag their tails in a stiff line at mid-height when they're annoyed and to signal a pending threat. Happy tail wags are attached to a wiggly, relaxed dog. And of course we have the play bow. Dogs put their front legs down on the ground with their rumps in the air to release tension and to show a friendly greeting. When dogs play bow, especially when jumping from side to side, they want to play. Even wolves exhibit this behavior in the wild. Pawing the air. Dogs paw at the air or paw at you when they want your attention or want to play. Dogs are confused when people hit them because in dog language, pawing at the air is a friendly gesture. So try teaching your dog to high five or shake as a positive outlet for normal behavior. Now, here's another good example of how we humans assume our dogs have the same emotions and feelings as we have, and then we put our own interpretations into the dog's reactions based on humanizing that dog. Now, this is a YouTube clip of the Bonnie Hunt show, and listen to her interpretation of this baby crawling over to the dog.
It's just a cute clip. It's not like some big thing happens. It just really warmed my heart because this little baby crawls over to this dog, and she discovers his little feet and hands. And then the dog it's just so beautiful. It acknowledges the baby's hand. And this is how they say hello. Here it is. Oh, that's sad.
Now, notice the emotion the clip draws from Bonnie, the human. The talk show host assumes the dog was bonding and acknowledging in a heartfelt, loving kind of way. The host is so moved by what's in that clip that she looks like she could cry, overwhelmed with joy about what she believes is an emotional tie between the baby and the dog. Now, a lot of humans are going to watch this clip and attach their own emotions to what they interpreted the dog was feeling at the time the dog touched the baby back with his paw. Well, here's what I saw. What the dog is really doing is, what is he really communicating? Is he overwhelmed with emotion because the cute little baby crawled over and connected with him? No, not at all. When the baby first crawled over and touched the dog's paw, the dog sat up and looked to see what was touching his foot. When he saw it was the baby, he then submitted by laying his head down. When the baby touched the dog's paw a second time, this submissive boxer saw it as a game and was playing with the baby. But there was no heartfelt emotional tie in the dog's mind like the announcer read into it. There was no strong feeling of affection felt by the dog when the baby touched his paw. The dog did not touch the baby back to show his reciprocated love. It was simply a gentle game. The dog was simply playing. And indeed, after the dog placed his paw over the baby's hand, he yawned. This is a sure sign of a dog that's unsure and under stress. So look at things from the dog's perspective. Don't humanize your dog. And one thing we can all agree on is this clip is adorable and that this boxer is well trained and a very good dog. I hope this week's training has helped, maybe opened your eyes, and made you want to learn a little bit more about how your dog communicates via canine body language. Keep training. Have fun with your dog. This is Scott Cook with Dog Training Depot.